Hello guys, and welcome back to the channel. So now guys, those of you into psychology will be aware of the debate and argument, the long-standing debate and argument that has been going on between the nature argument and the nurture argument. So we're talking about how human beings evolve, how the person forms his being. So are you as a person a product of your nature, i.e. the way you were born, how you are innately is how you have evolved, or are you as a person a product of nurturing? So did you evolve into what you are as a result of the environment that you grew up in, or more especially as a result of the parental upbringing and your immediate family, the sort of nurturing that you got from your immediate family? So the nature and the nurture argument, a long-standing one, and the president of the United States presents a good case study of this. As guys, I bring you this. US government introduces new laws for African tourists. Travelers may be required to pay $5,000 refundable bonds. So now, of course, Donald Trump especially targets the African nation, more so the third world nation, but more especially the African nations, especially more so the black African nations, and focusing centrally on Nigeria, who he seems to have a particular dislike for. So that nature and nurture argument that I brought, Donald Trump's father is also notorious for this. He was a property mogul, Donald Trump's father, and in any of the buildings that he owned, he made it a matter of policy to not let out or rent out any of his apartments to non-white people. So now, is it now the case that Donald Trump, the way he is, let's effectively just call him what he is it now the case that Donald Trump's racism is as a result of the nurturing that he got from his gold standard racist father, 100% pure racist father, or is he just fundamentally racist by his nature? So that is the nature or nurture argument. Is Trump fundamentally innately racist, or is he racist as a result of the upbringing? The headline again: United States government introduces new rule for African tourists. Travelers may be required to pay $5,000 refundable bond. So now let's now see how this is justified. The outgoing administration of President Donald Trump has issued a new temporary rule that could require tourist and business travelers from 24 countries, mostly in Africa, to pay a refundable bond of $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000 to visit the United States. The United States State Department said on Monday that the temporary final rule, which takes effect December the 24th and runs through June 24th, targets countries whose nationals have higher rates of overstaying B2 visas for tourists and B1 visas for business travelers. The Trump administration said the 6-month pilot program aims to test the feasibility of collecting such bonds and will serve as a diplomatic deterrent to overstaying the visas. Trump, who lost his re-election bid earlier this month, made restrictions on visas a part of his 4-year term in office. President-elect Joe Biden has pledged to reverse many of Trump's immigration policies when he gets into office. The visa bond rule will allow U.S. consular officers to require tourist and business travelers from countries whose nationals had an overstay rate of 10% or higher in 2019 to pay a refundable bond of $5,000, $10,000 or $15,000. The report said 24 countries meet the criteria, including 15 African countries. Historically, United States consular officers have been discouraged from requiring travelers to the United States to post a bond. According to US News, countries whose tourist and business travelers could be subject to the bond requirement include those from the Democratic Republic of Congo, Liberia, Sudan, Chad, Angola, Burundi, Djibouti, and Eritrea. Other countries include Afghanistan, Bhutan, Iran, Syria, Laos, and Yemen. So this is now the narrative now. I mean, this all we see a lot of these things coming out of the United States anyway. And what is the undertone of all of this, by my reading and by a lot of people's reading, is that Trump is trying to turn the United States white. In effect, there are no restrictions, of course, from anybody coming from Sweden. Heavens forfend. There are no restrictions for anybody coming from Iceland. In fact, he would rather they all come to live in the United States because they are all blonde hair, blue-eyed in Iceland. So the very archetype, the archetypical type of European features that Trump would prefer. But anybody now coming from places like Nigeria, Angola, Bhutan, etc., Afghanistan, and so forth, they have to post a 15,000 bond. So how is a person going on a vacation able to post a $15,000 bond is really the question, or even the $5,000 bond, because the whole package of that holiday is probably even within that $5,000. Their visa fees a few hundred, their tickets about 1,000, and they're spending money about $2,000. They go there for 3-4 weeks and they are back home. So the whole package in itself of that holiday, that tourist visit, is not even more than over half of the bond that they are requiring these people to post. So in effect, a pushback, effectively telling them you are not allowed in this country, is effectively what that means. And if you look at the sort of countries that they are targeting, then you will see that this is sort of like a realignment of the demographic makeup of the United States, because there are countless British people that just moved to the United States to go and stay, and they just stroll down to some office every few months to get their passport stamps, and off they go about their life. There's absolutely no real thinking behind it. They don't even give it any consideration, and nobody even looks at them with a second glance. But of course, if you have an African accent and a black skin, then of course, right from the airport, from your own country, they're already probing and prodding at you, and that probing and prodding now comes now with a $15,000 price tag. Conversations in the comment section. This is a Trumpism, of course, but is it fundamentally racist? Is really what my question is. That is why I started with the preamble that I came in with, the nature or nurture example. But whatever your take is, come share that with me in the comment section. But before you come into the comment section to share thoughts, click on the red subscribe button so it turns gray. The bell button notifies you every time I drop a new video. Click on like as well, because that helps with the YouTube algorithm. Once you've done all the clickings, come join me then in the comment section. This now weighted policy positions against third world countries that has been adopted by the Trump regime. Thankfully, the outgoing Trump regime. This is what we're discussing. So I'll leave you here. Carry this conversation on with you in the comment section. But here I say peace.